Today, I wanted to cover some recent buffs Void Hunter and its associating exotics received that you do not want to miss out on. We'll cover the buffs one by one and discuss how to put them towards your Void Hunter builds to make them as strong as possible. If you find today's video useful, be sure to drop a like and join my Discord server. That being said, my name is SniperKH and let's dive in. Let's open with what the buffs are. With Renegades, Bungie buffed 2 exotic armor pieces that work with Void Hunter while also massively buffing one of the super options for Void Hunter. To start things off, we'll look into the Omni Oculus buff. With the release of Renegades, Omni Oculus has gained a new support feature where turning allies invisible with your smoke grenades will now begin health regeneration. The reason this buff is great for Omni Oculus is that it further plays into this exotic's support side. Omni Oculus has always been a great support exotic for hunters to use in general play or in in-game content, but with this new buff, it makes this exotic far more appealing. That said, I wanted to turn my attention to the other exotic that got buffed, as this buff might not seem that crazy, but it plays massively into Void Hunter. With Renegades, Bungie buffed the Orpheus Rig boots, allowing you to hold onto your tether for 4 seconds longer, with the max duration being 20 seconds. Now, this buff proves to be far more useful when you take the buffs for Mobius Quiver into consideration. Mobius Quiver was also buffed in this expansion to increase the damage that your super and bow weapons do as you land arrows, with the max damage buff you can receive being 227%. As another point to consider, you can charge this bar further from landing arrows from your bow weapons. The combination of Orpheus Rigs and Mobius Quiver allow for Void Hunters to have one of the highest damaging combos in the game. Now all this sounds great, but how can you apply this into your general play? Well, allow me to explain. When you're playing an activity that doesn't have a tanky boss or you have yet to reach the boss of an activity, you'll find the Omni Oculus side to be far more useful, as this will allow for you and your teammates to stay alive. To maximize the effects of Omni Oculus, you'll want to copy the subclass layout I have on screen, as this will ensure you're getting every last benefit from Omni Oculus with longer invisibility, an easy and quick way to smoke your teammates, and fast regeneration for your melee and class ability. For the stats, you'll want to focus on melee and class, as these two stats affect your 2 most important abilities for this side of the build. Considering the fact that Omni Oculus grants you multiple charges of your smoke grenade, you'll want to invest more points into melee while managing at least 70 into class. For mods, there's not too many mods that are important to use, as we'll get a full charge of our smoke grenade back if we smoke 2 teammates. However, if you're struggling to get ability energy, then equip the mods that will help you get your energy back faster, like bolstering detonation or momentum transfer. Let's now turn our attention to the Orpheus Rig side of the build. It goes without saying, but you obviously can't have both Omni Oculus and Orpheus Rig equipped at the same time, so the best time to switch between these two is right before a boss fight starts. You won't need to worry about changing anything in your subclass, as the subclass layout is fitted to synergize well with both of these exotics. That said, the Orpheus Rig part of this build is a little more complicated. The 2 main stats that are important to focus are weapons and super, but you are no longer able to get armor with these 2 stats being spiked together, as there is currently no armor archetype that focuses these 2 stats specifically. Because of that, getting a balance between these 2 stats to get as much damage as possible is going to be tough, but I found a stat split that will work well enough. From doing testing, I found that having a stat split where your super stat is 150 plus and your weapon stat is around 110 to 120 allows for you to get as much damage as possible out of these 2 without having access to illegal armor. Additionally, pairing this super with a weapon like Leviathan's Breath or Submersion with Aggregate Charge will improve your damage massively. Furthermore, consider using mods like Super Font and Weapon Surges that will match your weapon to get bonus damage out of your weapons. Overall, these changes make Void Hunter more competitive in the meta. While the subclass is not the best subclass for hunters, nor the best loadout for hunters to be using right now, this subclass is definitely going to be one to give a try in in-game content. If you found today's video useful, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more Destiny 2 content dropping weekly. Be sure to drop a comment letting me know what class you want to see a build guide for next, and I'll get to it. Otherwise, be sure to follow me on my other social media platforms linked below. With that being said, I'm SniperKH, and I'm out. Good luck with gaming.